Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Leora and I make videos on here about reading, writing, sometimes other stuff as well, but mostly things surrounding books. And today I am here to discuss my autumn reading plans. So I have a little pile of books here, and I just want to discuss with you guys some books that I'm really excited to read this autumn, some books that I'm kind of in the middle of right now, some books that are on my radar that I really want to read. It's one of my favourite seasons that I enjoy a lot, and I can't wait to discuss my reading plans and like sort of my TBR. And I'm calling it reading plans because I'm a big mood reader, and usually if I set a TBR, I'm not that great at holding myself to the TBR, so by calling it reading plans, it's more sort of things I'm planning on reading, things I might pick up, but like I don't know, because there's a world of books in my house and we'll never know what's going to happen. Before we get to the books though, a big thank you to this week's sponsor. So I've recently gotten something very interesting in my mail. It is this very special sleeping mask. So today's video is being kindly sponsored by Manta Sleep, and they make all sorts of wonderful sleeping masks to help you sleep better anywhere, anytime. And the thing I'm very excited about is that I got this mask which has Bluetooth speakers, which is so cool because that means I can listen to podcasts, audiobooks, but also like cozy ASMR rooms whilst I'm laying down, because these speakers are like very flat. So you put on the mask and the speakers are like in here so you can lay down. So that's very cool. I'm very excited about that. So they have many different masks and their motto is to help you sleep better so you can live better. So the one I got has audio, but they also have steam masks, and I also got the steam eye cups that you can put on this mask as well. You can pop them in the microwave and then they become warm, and it feels like very funny. It is relaxing, it's nice. And I've also received the cool eye cups, which you can cool, which I think I will try when the weather gets warmer again, but for now the steam cups are really cool. I tried them out yesterday and they were really nice. They help alleviate stress and dry eyes, and they can soothe your eyes and your sinuses. The mask is 100% blackout, and I can confirm I can see absolutely nothing through this. They have no audible battery notifications, which is really nice because it has happened to me where I have my headphones on like in an ASMR room and then I get the bling of my headphones being almost empty. These don't empty out quickly either because they have a battery life of 20 hours, which is so long. And you can adjust the speakers with these tabs, and you can also adjust the eye cups. So you can put like different eye cups in like these. So I'm very excited to put these on my afternoon naps because I love napping, and Manta Sleep is very pro nap, so I found that very fun and very great. So with the link in my description, you can get 10% off your Manta Sleep order. I would love if you checked them out. These masks are really cool. So be sure to use code Leora for 10% off at checkout, and I'm off now to take a little nap. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching my content and that sponsor segment. It helps me maintain the channel and be able to make content for you guys, so I appreciate it a lot. And now let's get into the books. Okay, so first and foremost, my plan for this autumn is to finish a book I'm currently reading that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I think it will be a long while before I stop talking about this book because it's already made such an impact, and I'm only on page 316 of 737. I've seen people talk on the internet about the fact that this book is like 400 pages bigger than it needs to be. And I don't mind, to be honest, at this point, because I don't want this book to be over. The book I am talking about is The Chronicles of Between, or Between, by L.L Starling. Now, I got this book on my radar via several means, which is how I know that the universe wanted me to read this book. That's very dramatic, I'm aware. So it was one of you guys who commented on my videos telling me about this book, and one of the things I remember most from that comment was that you said like there's a drunk unicorn in there, and that just that got to me. I was like, that sounds intriguing. And then one of my best friends picked this up and she absolutely adored it, and she said, Leora, I just know you're gonna love this. This is so up your alley. And she was completely right. I cannot stop reading this. The only reason I've kind of stopped reading it is because I was like, I need to tell people, I need to discuss it before I finish it. And you know, I've just been having those afternoons where you crawl into a book and you read for hours and hours and hours on end. and it's been wonderful. So we follow Sasha Pierce, and she's a kindergarten teacher, and she doesn't really dream. The last dream she had was when she was like 5 years old, and it kind of ended in a horrible nightmare. And then she accepts a substitute teaching position in this charming, witchy town called Old Middleton. And let me tell you, the vibes are off the chart in this book. My friend, when she gave this to me, because we did like a little book swap, I have loads of her books in this pile of books I want to read this autumn. She told me like, listen, nothing really goes down in the first 100 pages. And let me tell you, that was my favourite part so far about this book. The fact that nothing really happened in the first 100 pages and we just got to get like used to the setting and the story and how lovely the setting and the characters actually are. And I was vibing so much that when the actual plot kind of kicked in after 100 pages, I was like, there's a plot now. And the plot is actually really intriguing and it's good and it keeps me wanting to read. Like, it was not a bad thing to me that nothing was happening in the beginning. I was kind of enjoying that. So when Sasha accepts this teaching position, she goes to Old Middleton with her best friend Lila, who's a really funny sidekick, like a very sassy sidekick. And when she gets there, the town is really like strange and eerie, but like it has major like autumn cozy, like kind of Gilmore Girls, but like very witchy vibes. It was wonderful. It's like the perfect small town vibes. So she gets there, she gets the teaching. Everything is a little bit weird in the town. Like there's some rumors of old witches and there's like lots of folklore, but she's enjoying it. You know, she's like a positive girly. She has a great outlook on life. Unlike Lila, who's constantly like moaning about everything, but in a good way. It's very funny. That's one of the things as well I enjoy most about this book so far, that it's just absolutely hilarious and it can make me laugh out loud every other page. The funniest thing happens when Sasha gets to Old Middleton. She starts having dreams again, but these dreams are very vivid and very odd, and there may be something else going on. Another little tidbit that is also in the back of the book that I want to tell you guys is that there's an ancient portal into a different world, which is one of my favorite things in books. And there's also this really sassy wizard, and literally every female character in this book is gushing over him. To be fair, that's one of the things so far that's annoyed me a little bit. Like, they are really like honing in on the fact that this male wizard is so ultimately sexy and hot. I was enjoying it for the first bit, but now it's kind of going overboard. So excited to finish this and give you my full review when I've read the entire thing. I know that there's also going to be a part 2, so I'm super excited for that. The Drunk Unicorn hasn't even come into play yet, and I'm on page 300, so when is he coming? Anyway, having a great time. Very delighted to call this part of my autumn reading plans, and thank you Q for always giving me the best book recommendations. I love you. Then the next book is something that I'm also already reading. I also talked about this in my latest reading vlog. This is The Devil Makes Three by Tori Bovalino, and in this one we follow two students, one of them a wizard and one of them a normal girl, and they stumble upon this ancient passageway below like their library of their school, and they accidentally release a devil or a demon or like some very old evil upon the world, which they didn't mean to, and then they have to get out of this mess together. It's very dark academia so far. Major awesome vibes. It's definitely a bit on the scary side. Like, I think one of them is being possessed or potentially being possessed, so there's like some weird like is reality real or not situation so far. It's very atmospheric. If you're into books about books and like set in libraries, this is definitely one I recommend. I did have trouble getting into this one, and I usually love when a story starts slow, but with this, maybe it even started a little bit too quick for my taste. Like, we were really thrown into it, but then we didn't get to the things happening in the blurb like quite later on, so there was a lot of stuff going down that I sort of already knew about. It is a book I'm eager to finish, and it's perfect for this season. The next book on my list is one that I've started the audiobook for, and that is Regrettably, I Am About to Cause Trouble by Amie Mcnee. This cover is definitely what drew me in. I saw the cover and I was like, that looks amazing. I need to get to that right now. It just looks very witchy and cozy and really fun, and it's historical witchy fiction, which might potentially be cozy. Like, so far it's not mega cozy, but it's definitely atmospheric. I just feel like autumn is such a good time to get back into historical books and like the historical settings. So this is set in 1535 in Oxfordshire, and we follow Lady Maud Shaftesbury, and she's got it all sorted out. Sort of. She's going to marry this very well-connected fancy lord and be a part of the royal elite, and Maud very much wants to be a wonderful, virtuous, perfect wife. She wants to marry this man, continue the tradition of the girls of her family being able to carry a lot of babies, and she's like, yes, I'm so ready to give him a baby boy and continue to grow our amazing parts of being a socialite. But she has like one little problem, and her little problem is kind of a big problem because she has a birthmark between her legs, and at this time this birthmark would kind of show that she's a witch. And even though she's not a witch, she's like, he'll see this birthmark and he'll know I'm a witch and he might not want to marry me. So she and her family kind of set on this cunning plan to hide this birthmark from him. But of course it doesn't really go the way she had planned. So she's faced with a divorce or an annulment, and her family are planning to ship her off or worse. And so she does the only thing she can think of, run away to actual witches to ask them if they can help her. And the witches are like, yes, you fancy, stupid, aristocratic girl, you can stay with us, but you do have to help in the apothecary. And so Maud is suddenly like everything she vowed to never be, and she has to assist the witches in their potions and spells, etc, etc. Maud is the most annoying character, but like in a really fun way. She's really uptight. She's this fancy girl who's never had to work a day in her life. She has all these prejudices that she needs to overcome. She hates that she's now sort of being what she didn't want to be, what she's like tried to push away all her life because of people thinking she is a witch because of the birthmark. The blurb says, "I'm About to Cause Trouble" is a tale about being ostracized and finding our power and family in unusual places. I love a good found family, so I'm very excited to see where this goes. So far, it's been a hoot. That's all I can say. Then the next book I'm very excited about is Starling House by Alix E. Harrow. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix E. Harrow was a book I enjoyed a lot. It was one of my favorites. It has this really nice bittersweet tone to it. It's like tragic and beautiful, but like very sweet and lovely at the same time, and that is something I really enjoy in books. And so when I saw that Alix E. Harrow had a new book, Starling House, I had to get it. I saw Sid Bookworm on Goodreads call this a great little cozy gothic fairy tale, and when I saw that I was like, yes, sign me up right now. I need to put this in my autumn reading plans. So if I get to it and I'm in the right mood, this is on the list. So let me read a little bit about this book to you. Opal is a lot of things: an orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, Jasper. One that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only two things: bad luck and E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland, who disappeared over 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumours, and her home. Everybody agrees that it's best to ignore the uncanny mansion and its misanthropic heir, Arthur. Almost everyone, anyway. Opal has been obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets the chance to step inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. But sinister forces are digging deeper into the buried secrets of Starling House, and Arthur's own nightmares have become far too real. As Eden itself seems to be drowning in its own ghosts, Opal realizes that she might finally have found a reason to stick around, and now she'll have to fight. So there's this town with a disappeared author from 100 years ago, there's this spooky gothic house, there's, again, lots to do with dreams and dream magic. It sounds like sinister and scary but comforting at the same time, and that is something that I know Alix E. Harrow is very good at because I've read it in her other books, so very excited to get into this. Next up on the list is Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen, another book I lent from my friend. This is about an enchanted tree, so do I need to say more? Lots of people compare it to Practical Magic, saying that it's very similar. That only drew me in more because I love the movie. I still have not read the book. Don't come for me. I'm sorry. So we have the Waverley family, and all of the Waverley girls have special powers, and they all tend to this magical tree in their garden, and the soil is part of their family, part of their magic. It's all very special. There's three sisters, Claire, Avenel, and Sydney. And Sydney has run away quite a time ago, and she all of a sudden returns, and Claire and Avenel have to deal with Sydney all of a sudden returning with a young daughter of her own, and the changes that this brings to their family and their magic. It says, soon the sisters realize they must deal with their common legacy if they are ever to feel at home in Bascom or with each other. Sounds again like a magical story about a family, so something I really want to pick up. And the cover is also, of course, stunning. I love this design. They've also done like a redesign of it later on, and I do not like that one. This one was so beautiful. Why do they do that? They make like an initial gorgeous book cover, and then later on they're like, let's replace this with a stock photo. The next book on the list is something else, because I was like, I also kind of need like a thriller that will just like keep me wanting to read and like maybe is a bit spooky and uncanny. And for that I picked The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I don't have the dust checker right now. I thought the blurb of this book was so interesting, so I was immediately intrigued. So we follow Emma, and she lives, I think, in a coastal area, like kind of far away from other people, together with her dog, Leica. And one day she reads this very gruesome, kind of awful horror novel, and she thinks it's really bad, so she leaves a 1-star review. And that is where the trouble starts. And before she knows it, she's having this strange argument with the actual author of the book online. After this online argument, strange and disturbing incidents start to happen at night, and Emma feels that they might be connected. Oh my god, is this author stalking her? It sounds very intriguing. I have to know what's going on, so I'm very excited to pick this up. I'm hoping to read it like at night, all cozied up and being like so excited but also low-key scared that if I leave a bad review, the author is coming for me. Then the final book on my list is a book that I've been wanting to pick up for such a long time, and I've gotten it at the library once as well, but then I didn't read it either. So I really need to get to this book because it's been like in my mind for such a long time. And that is Anatomy, a love story by Dana Schwartz. So yet another historical book. So this one is set in Edinburgh in 1817, and we follow Hazel Sinnott, and she wants to be a surgeon and not a lady. And then we have Jack Curra, who's a resurrection man. So Hazel gets kicked out of a lecture because she's the wrong gender and women are not allowed to be at the Anatomists' Society, and there's nothing more that she wants than to just follow her dreams and become that surgeon. The doctor that has kicked Hazel out of these lectures is like, yes, you can enroll in university, but you'll have to pass the entrance exam on your own. And of course this is super undoable because she'll need books to study, she'll need to do a lot of study on her own, but she'll also need bodies to dissect and to look into and to learn about anatomy. But luckily enough, she has just made an acquaintance with Jack Curra, our resurrectionist. The book says, a gothic tale full of mystery and romance about a willful female surgeon, a resurrection man who sells bodies for a living, and the buried secrets they must uncover together. So that sounds super exciting and also exactly the right mood for autumn. So these were some of my autumn reading plans. I'm very excited to get to each and every one of these books. There's so many more autumnal books on my shelves and in my apartment and in my brain that I really want to get to. I feel like I always have a lot of books that are perfect for this season because I just love these kind of vibes, like the spooky vibes, but also the witchy vibes. At the same time, I just love like autumn as a season, so these kind of books always attract me, and then I end up having loads of them, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You had a good time seeing me talk about my autumnal reading plans. Don't forget to check out my webshop and support me and this channel and my art via leoraaileen.com. You can shop some beautiful autumnal goodies for yourself. Let me know in the comments down below, do you have any special reading plans for autumn? And also leave me some nice candle emojis so we get some atmosphere going in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of me. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!